Next is ATC options. So let's do a quick comparison of the various options that are available at for ATC deduction. We saw a whole list there. So here I'm just going to take a quick run through on what are the various options, and any investment options we put them through a few filters. Those filters are how much returns do they give us, what is the risk profile, how much is the lock-in, what is the liquidity structure, do I have to invest every year, or is it just a one-time investment, and how will the gains be taxed? Right, so it's not just I make an investment and then when I get the money back I'm taxed a lot for it. So let's look at these options. Yeah, so let's look at one option at a time. So the public provident fund gives you a 7.1% risk-free return, and the lock-in period is 15 years. You'll have to pay every year at least 500 rupees, and the gains are also tax-free. So this is brilliant. Only thing is, if you have 15 years for your goals, or if you have 15 years available, you don't need the money, go ahead and invest. Don't do the 500 rupees, it won't make any impact. Invest 50,000, 1 lakh rupees. The maximum you can do of 1.5 lakhs, because it all comes under ATC. Then you have the National Savings Certificate, which you can buy from post offices. They give you a 6.8% return, risk-free, of course, and a lock-in period of only 5 years, not 15 years. You don't have to regularly make investment. You can just buy one NSE certificate and hold it for 5 years, and you can claim the benefit for the current year. Right? And the gain or the income, the interest that you earn on your NSE is again tax exempt under Section 80C. So you get the benefit of tax-free income as well. Then there are tax saving FDs. So 5-year tax saving FDs from banks. The returns expected are anywhere between 5% and 7%. They are low risk, can't say risk free. They're low risk, but their lock-in is 5 years. You don't have to make a regular commitment. It doesn't have to be like a recurring deposit. It's a fixed deposit, so you just make it once. And the interest accrued is taxable. It's fully taxable. Usually TDS is deducted on it. So you get benefit at the time of investment, but not your incomes and gains. They are taxable. The next option that you might be considering is ULIPs, unit linked insurance plans. So these are insurance plans that are given out by life insurance companies, and they invest in equity markets. They could invest in debt markets also, but predominantly equity market based ULIPs give you anywhere between 8 to 10% returns. They have a 5-year lock-in. They are risky in the sense that they are subject to equity market ups and downs, and you have to make a regular commitment for the ULIPs. There are both types of policies available. You can make a single premium policy, or you could commit to a regular premium policy. Just that you have to be aware of what you're committing to. So there have been many instances where regular premium policies have been sold as single premium policies. So be very careful to ask this question: do I have to pay premium on this every year, or is it just a one-time thing? Right? And how is the gain tax? Now, this is a new rule for the current year. I mean, actually effective from the next year, 21-22. But it's important for you to understand this. If the annual premium paid is less than 2.5 lakhs, then all of your gains are tax-free. So it's very possible that your insurance agents are working overdrive to ensure that you invest before 31st March, because you get all your incomes also tax-free. For anything that's invested after 1st of April, if your annual premium is more than 2.5 lakhs, then the gains that you make on whatever you invest more than 2.5 lakhs is not tax-free. They're taxed as capital gains, right? So ULIPs are one thing which have equity market investments, but endowment insurance plans don't invest in equity markets. They just invest in very regular debt-based instruments. So returns expected are 4% to 6%. These are largely insurance LIC policies, or they could be from private insurance companies also. They are risk-free, largely risk-free. They have a lock-in period of at least 5 years. And yes, you might usually have to make a regular annual premium. And the gains and income that are completely tax exempt under Section 1010B. Another option for those of you who have girl children aged less than 10 is the Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, in which you can invest, but you have to keep investing for 21 years. It's risk-free, of course. You get returns about 7.6%. Of course, this rate can change, just like how your PPF rates. The government comes out with whatever is the rate that rate of interest that they're going to give for the current year. You have to make a regular commitment to pay on these policies for 21 years, and the gains are tax exempt. So you get tax exemption. 10 is a senior citizen savings scheme. Of course, you should be over 60 years to be investing in this, or you should be over 55 and taken voluntary retirement. So the returns expected are 7.4% and they are risk-free. They have a minimum lock-in of 5 years, and there's no regular commitment. You just make a one-time investment, and the gains are fully taxable as per the slab. Just like how fixed deposits are fully taxable as per your slab, the senior citizen savings schemes are also fully taxable. Then lastly, of course, is the equity linked savings schemes, which are mutual funds, which can give you anywhere between 12% and 15% return, but they are subject to equity market risks. This is the policy that this is an option that has the lowest lock-in period, so 3 years of lock-in, and you don't have to make a regular commitment. You can, of course, do an SIP or something, but it's not necessary. It's not like an insurance plan that you buy and you have to compulsorily pay, and if you don't pay, the policy will lapse or something like that. No such thing. You want to invest, if you have tax saving requirement for current year, you can invest in the LSS schemes. If you don't have tax saving requirement for the next year, you can skip, right? And the gains are, of course, taxed as capital gains at 10%. Yeah, so these are largely the options that are available for investment. So depending on what your particular situation is, and if you have to necessarily do an ATC investment, if you have 15 years time and you want to be risk free and you're happy with the 7% return, go for a PPF investment, or choose ULIPs if you're okay to take some equity market risks, and stay logged in for 5 years and pay some taxes at the end, or you want the lowest possible lock-in period, and you're okay to take some equity market risks, and you can invest in mutual funds, equity linked savings schemes. So do talk to your financial advisor, your mutual fund distributor, or whoever you work with, and discuss these options available and make a decision. Don't just jump in and do a random investment for tax saving purposes. Right? There's nothing wrong with the younger generation that becoming taxpayers won't cure. So tax paying puts you, gives you the right grounding that's necessary for you to grow up. So this was my quick 101 on taxes for the current year. So I'll see you. I hope you become a smart taxpayer and do the right things with your money. Bye-bye.